Welcome to Dominator TV. I'm your host, Dave the Dominator. Buckle up for episode 6. In this episode, we're going to conquer everything you need to know about property inspections. Each time you go into contract to purchase a property or a house, you are contractually allowed a certain period of time during which you can perform any and all inspections, schedule personal walkthroughs, and weigh any items that will influence your decision to continue with the purchase. Before we talk about what we're inspecting, let's talk about when and why. During this part of the process, I often get asked the same two questions. Wouldn't it make sense for the sellers to have inspections completed so the buyers don't have to? And what if it doesn't pass? First of all, there's no pass or fail with a property inspection. It is simply designed to inform the buyer of all items that need repairing, replacing, monitoring, or further evaluation from a qualified professional. In certain situations, the seller of the house does have a property inspection completed prior to placing it on the market, but it isn't common, and here is why. There are many different types of inspections and inspectors to choose from at this point in the process. A home inspection is designed to be an unbiased buyer's tool to know the ins and outs of the house's problems. This gives the buyers a chance to review the details of the inspection and use them as a negotiating tool rather than have them filtered through the homeowner. Additionally, the homeowner has no way to know if the buyer would like an inspection or what kind of inspection they're looking for. On top of all these reasons, the biggest falls on liability. Homeowners are often required to disclose defects they know of. If they hire an inspector to show them 37 things wrong with their home, then they may be required to disclose those same 37 things rather than living in the bliss of ignorance. Because most of the market chooses not to do so, having a long list of disclosed defects could make the house appear to be of lesser quality than the others, even though they probably have the same issues. Another benefit of having the inspection period fall after negotiations is that it gives the buyers a higher sense of urgency when making the right choice, as well as giving them... Another benefit of having the inspection period fall after negotiations is that it gives the buyers a higher sense of urgency when making the right choice, as well as saving them for paying for multiple home inspections on homes they aren't going to buy. Here are a few different types of inspections. Home inspection. During a home inspection, your inspector of choice will go through the house and point out all of the defects they can find. In the event they don't have enough information about the defect or possible issue, they will likely tell you to have it evaluated by another professional. The inspector will then review the results with you and explain what they find. Home inspections are totally optional, but I highly recommend having one each and every time. Termite inspection. This one's a bit more simple and usually a lot cheaper. It is most often required by the lender prior to financing a home. A termite or wood-destroying insect infestation inspector will look for visible evidence of termite damage and report if there have been termites on the property and whether or not having a termite treatment is necessary. Sometimes the wood-destroying insect infestation report will include moisture damage and mold, but usually just shows termite damage. If the property is free of damage, you'll receive a letter of clearance. If it needs treatment, the letter of clearance will be issued afterward. Keep in mind that having the presence of termites doesn't mean you should necessarily walk away. Oftentimes, it is a simple process to have them treated. The inspector can tell you how thorough the damage on each property is. Mold inspections. A mold inspection is more rare to see performed on the daily basis, but usually occurs after the home inspector has noted some sort of biogrowth due to moisture intrusion in some parts of the structure. There are all sorts of types of mold, and some of them are in the air that we breathe every day. Others are more harmful. Once an inspector performs a mold test, they can tell you what the risk factors are for that particular spore and recommend further treatment if necessary. Remember that moisture damage and mold are not the same thing. Radon testing. Some clients like to have their home tested for the possible presence of radon gases, especially when part of the structure is underground. Radon is an odorless, colorless, tasteless gas that can be released by the ground during the natural processes of organic decay. Too much radon has been noted to cause respiratory issues up to lung cancer. You can usually do some local research to see if radon is a big deal in your area. If so, a test might be preferred. Lead-based paint testing. Prior to 1978, many houses were painted using lead-based paint. This paint has been noted to be toxic to humans if ingested. Most people waive the test unless they have children or pets who may have the possibility of ingesting paint chips. It is, however, your right to have the test performed if you wish. Due diligence inspections. Up until now, I've discussed inspections that will certainly cost money to have performed, which is why most clients limit the testing to general home inspections and termite inspections. It is also your right, however, to perform your own feasibility study of the property. This can mean that you're looking into subdivision restrictions, checking building or remodeling codes, utility availability, etc. Maybe your Uncle Joe's a builder and wants to come give you an opinion. All of these things are fine as long as the seller approves them. The main point of this period is to give you as much information as possible about the accurate condition of the property you're buying. Naturally, there are tons of inspections that a buyer can have performed, even beyond what I've listed. If you have a specific situation that you would like to ask questions about, reach out, and I'm sure there's an inspection out there for it. We're covering the basics for time's sake. Your sales agreement will have a time allotted for inspections to be performed. Make sure that all inspections are done before your deadline is over, otherwise you may risk obligating yourself to purchase the property as is. Once you've decided which inspections you would like to have performed, contact your real estate professional and they can give you a list of preferred inspectors that they trust. You can also turn to your own sphere of influence or online reviews to find the right inspector for the right price. There are many different inspection types, but most residential home inspections are under $400, and most termite inspections are between $50 to $100 in the Tennessee area. These may vary in geographic location. When you select the inspectors, it will be up to the inspectors to find a time that works for you and the seller to schedule the inspection and walkthrough. This will also take delegation with your real estate professional, as they will be the one who communicates all of these appointments with the listing agent and the inspector. In a nutshell, communicate with all parties when you want the inspections and which inspections you'd like, and make sure they work for everyone. You likely do not need to be present for the termite inspection, but many home inspectors like to have you meet them at the property after they've completed to show you what all they've found when we're talking about a home inspection. You will be expected to pay for the inspection within a few days of having it performed. After you've completed all the inspections, step 7 will tell you what to do next. Before we throw it in the bag, let's go over some frequently asked questions. If my house is a newly built home and I have a builder's warranty, should I still get a home inspection? Yes. Even brand new homes have issues, and having them addressed ahead of time can save you money, time, and heartache. The choice is always yours. Who pays for these inspections? The buyer is responsible for paying for all the inspections they want performed on a property they're buying. In some cases, the seller may have ordered an inspection just to help address possible issues, but I still recommend having your own set of professional eyes take a look. If I decide to back out of the purchase, do I get reimbursed for inspection money? No. Because inspections can be pricey, I encourage you to make sure you know the house is right for you before we ever get to this step. Performing inspections on multiple houses will quickly become expensive. Can a house fail an inspection? No, not for a purchase. It will be the inspector's job to show you anything they find that they think can negatively affect your home or its value. Even after you learn of all of its issues, there's nothing saying that they have to be addressed. That's completely up to the buyer and the seller at this point. When the appraisal is performed, there may be a few required repairs, but that's for another episode. Should I get a home inspection if I'm buying a property as is? Yes. First, ask yourself, why are they selling as is? And then determine if you're comfortable going into that situation blind to its possible problems. Should I be ready to walk away if there are lots of issues? There's no right answer for this one. The important thing to keep with you is that the inspector's job is to tear the place apart and find every little thing they can. When they do this, it is important to not let that scare you as a buyer. No matter what the property is, it will have plenty of issues. Your job here, however, is to determine whether these issues are big enough to be deal breakers. All in all, your real estate professional should be skilled in walking you through the inspection process. This is one of the final steps in deciding whether this will be the property you settle on, so make sure you do yourself justice. Until next time, this has been DominatorTV. Remember to keep following me on social media and sharing the series. I'll have all the links available in the episode description. I'm your host, Dave the Dominator. Always remember that this system was made for you, and together we will conquer your goals.